Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Premium Aquatics. Luke here with Tank. You know the drill. Today, let's just jump right into it. Let's make it super short and simple for you guys. I won't take up much more time than you need because it is beautiful outside, so enjoy the weekend. Today, we're looking at this guy. This is the Tunze 6040 Nano Pump, Nano Stream. This guy I've been looking to get on this system because it is a smaller pump, and you know me, if you don't, I love smaller, compact pumps and equipment in my system. I hate things that are massive and just take away from all the display. So I'm really excited to get this guy into the system. So without further ado, let's go ahead, jump right into it. Come on. Okay, so we've got the 6040. Hold on, forgot my notes. 6040 does anywhere between 53 to 1,190 gallons per hour. It is controllable. It already comes with a controller in the box, which is fantastic. We love that. Nothing more annoying than having to buy equipment after you already get it. So, comes with the controller. We already went over the controller, so I'm not going to go through that again. If you need to look at, how to do the controller, what to set it up, go look at the other Tunze Stream pump, the bigger one that I had set up. We go into that a little bit more. So if you want to know a little bit more about the controller, go check that video out. It has, waves, on, off, feed time, all that jazz you can set up, which is really nice. If you have more than one, you can set it up so it creates a nice wave in your tank. It does have a port here to connect to another controller, Tunze controller, the multi-controller, to another pump. Or you can also set it up to the night cell that they offer, and then it does this 29-day cycle to the moon, and then once your lights go off, the photocell recognizes it and turns the pump down, and it does this little moon cycle for you, which is a really cool option. It is separate purchase, so keep that in mind. The magnet on this puppy works up to 15 millimeter thickness for glass. The dimensions on it are 2.36 by 1.69 by 2.68. I can't remember that, so I had to write it down. Very small pump. Let's open it up here. And if I know German engineering, we have our manuals in 18 different languages. We have our inspection sheet. Number 8 is our guy, so let's be looking at him. And then we have our pump and controller. Let's take apart this Saran wrap. Pump controller. Look how small this guy is. Is this not amazing? Hand covers it completely up. I love this guy. It's a different layout. That's one thing about this pump that makes it unique to any other pump that I know of, at least, is that it actually is shooting more up, and then it has this little bell here, half bell, to make the flow go out more. So we can set this up at the bottom of the tank, and the flow is going to, basically extend out to this whole wide area and just make it a really nice flow pattern. Now, obviously, we can do it like this. We can set it, we could technically even set it up like this. If you have a bare bottom or not, this actually could be a really nice feature for bare bottom systems. But a lot of different options there. You can take this off, and technically we could put it maybe on the back wall. I wouldn't take it off, but you could if you wanted to. Another option is we could put this on the back wall. Well, it'd have to go the other way. The back wall, and we could put it, the bell here, and it's going to push out forward, which is kind of nice because the back walls usually have some of the biggest issues because you don't have pumps back there as much sometimes. So that could be a neat little option. I'm actually just going to make it real simple. I'm going to put it right next to the Sichi pump. I'm not taking out the Sichi pump yet. I want to run it by it and see how it looks compared to it, and just see how it runs. But really nice and small profile. I really like that, as you know. So I'm excited to get this in there. I don't believe this front cover, hopefully you can see that here, I don't think this is going to be an issue being open like that. The only time I would be very, very concerned about it is if you were turning it off and on for longer periods of time. If I were, say, shutting it off for 5 minutes, turning it back on, shutting it down for 5 minutes, turning it back on, then maybe I'd have a little bit of a fear of something getting in here and, causing an issue like an anemone. But beyond that, I'm not too concerned about that because I'm going to keep this running non-stop. So if you do have a concern about that, keep in mind this impeller is opened. So let's go ahead, get my transformer, let's plug it in, get it on this bad boy. Let's see what kind of flow we can put out here. Okay, so it's in here. I turned off the CG. It's running on extremely low right now, on the very lowest setting. It's not pulsing. I think it's very, very cool, very, very interesting. The flow is going to basically shoot up and do a little, curvature motion and go across the system. I actually took this top piece and pointed it a little bit so it actually goes and angles towards the back middle instead of just across. So that's kind of nice to be able to do that. I can technically point it all the way towards the towards the back by just rotating that piece, which is actually really, really cool. I like that. A lot easier than having to change the entire position of that pump. It is very, very quiet. I'll take you off here again. It has these 4 little vibration pads between the magnet and the pump. Make sure nothing's vibrating between the tank and the pump itself. Very small profile, as you can see. As far as the flow, we're on the very lowest setting. You can already see it is definitely making water movement. If I turn it on full blast right here, you can see this sucker's really moving some water up top. And actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually moving some debris down here underneath this rock. So it's really got a strong current coming up, going up, and then pushing it out towards the center of the tank. I really like that. And again, I'll have to play with it to figure out where the deflector best is so it doesn't run any risk of obviously overflowing this lip, because we don't want that, obviously. But that is really cool. And obviously my tank is much more shallow than a lot. So if you have a even deeper tank, 18 inches like the standards, you're not gonna have to worry about that whatsoever as long as you don't put it right at the top. So this is, maybe 6 inches from the top and then 4 inches from the bottom, somewhere in that range, because I'm only 12 inches tall. So that's a ton of flow going out there. And again, I can pulse it. Like right here, we are actually having it pulse. I don't know if you can actually see that pump move back and forth just a little bit as it pulses, as you can see on the controller here to signify that. I actually really like this pump. I'm interested to see how it turns out. We'll play around with it, obviously, make sure it's better tuned to this system, and really find out where the best place is for it. I might actually just go and throw it on the back wall by the overflow section back here, and then point it forwards. That would actually be really cool too. Now, one other thing about this that is pretty cool is because the bottom is the back technically, I am getting this actually really low to the sand, and I'm about 50% right now on flow. So we're at what, 500, 600 gallons per hour. This sand is hardly moving at all. A little bit over here by the rock. Now I would be very, very careful with this because this is, I believe, a Ragus, so it's a very sugar-sized sand. So maybe on this side I would lower it a little bit more just to make sure we don't run into any issues. But I can get this actually pretty low to the sand. If I were to put it over on the right hand side where the reef flakes are, I bet I could get that even closer or do more power. So that's actually really cool since that is the back. You get a little bit more draw from these sides instead of from the back or anything like that. So that's pretty neat. So another thing to keep in mind of what you can do with this. But that's it, guys. Go check it out. I'll put a link in the description below so you can go and take a look at it, see if it's the right fit for your system. We appreciate you as always. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, enjoy the weekend. Stay happy, healthy. Hit a like on the video, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we will see you right here in a short 2 weeks. Peace, guys.